side.
Right.
The employees. Yeah.
And the comments were like positive or negative?
I think the ones in Times Square were positive.
Okay.
But the ones that they received
Mm-hmm.
were negative and positive.
Okay. And the commercial just showed that basically. Like, what was the moral of the commercial?
That they were putting the effort to make it better.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it was, oh, we're rewarding, we're kind of highlighting our customers, our everyday customers in Times Square, like, thank you for writing to us, customers, we're going to put you up on the billboard. And then they were getting the negative criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're supposed to assume, right?
Yeah.
That through the negative criticism, they were doing something about it? Did they say, like, we're going to make these changes or something?
I think it was the employees. They were like, it sucks to be like, I don't know. I don't remember. They basically said they don't want to be, given negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So they were gonna like put an effort.
Yeah. Yep.
To
That's
work
right.
harder. Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah. So again, these are just regular people. We're just talking about how their commercials are very down to earth and why they don't use like a celebrity spokesperson. And that's what you would call someone in a commercial who's a celebrity. You said correctly, like they would cast a celebrity, but what we call them is celebrity spokespeople because they speak for that brand. They're paid to speak for that brand. So the reason why they didn't use celebrities or anything is because they just wanted to be, regular people. We're going to make a change. We hear you. Okay, so, great. Now, let's talk about, here, I'll get this to you. This is for a little bit later. Let's go over this article. Did you guys print them out? The next one? Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks. So what'd you think? Not too boring, right? Kidding. It was interesting. I mean, it's not the most interesting topic, detergent, but kind of cool. This guy did.
Yeah, I heard their social network service effective to the world, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I know that information,
Mm-hmm.
but actually, it's first time to hear how can I say, mommy bloggers affect to their
Where are you, sorry?
mommy bloggers.
Oh, mommy bloggers,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Uh-huh, yep.
Yeah, affect to their
It's okay, take your time.
Affected to their things.
So the mommy bloggers were effective in getting the word out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh, okay, and spreading the message.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's it, just,
And
we don't need to talk exactly, you don't need to give me like a summary just yet. We can go through first the words, some words that you guys maybe didn't know, we can go through them.
I don't know the meaning. Budget brand and top shelf. Budget brand top shelf or budget brand and top shelf.
Okay, budget brand, did you say? What's the second word? Budget brand and top shelf, I think. Okay. So budget is money, how much money they have to spend. Okay. Budget, those are separate. Budget and brand are separate in that sentence. So the art of making, I'm sorry, no, you're right. The art of making a budget brand top shelf. Okay, so when they're saying a budget brand, they mean a brand which is cheap. Cheap. So generally, budget does not mean cheap. It just means how much money you have allocated for a certain product. But when you're saying budget brand, cheap, a cheap brand. Top shelf means it means when a product is top shelf, it means it's well known. Yep, something that's well known and recognizable. What other words?
Kiss of death.
Kiss of death. Yep. That.
First pages, fourth line.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay. A kiss of death. Right. So it's used very specifically in this article. So basically, what they're saying is this. Assumption that all scale brands are pretty much the same. Okay, so when a brand doesn't really know its competitors, when they are kind of operating in like a vacuum. So a brand can't operate on its own, right? A product can't just be a product that is, the people behind it can't just put this product out there and hope something happens. We talked about this, right, when we did the circle with the, market research and advertising and media planning and public relations. All these things have to go into putting this product on the shelves and getting people to buy it. So if a brand doesn't understand their competitors, right, if they don't know what's already out on the market, okay, that is a kiss of death. Because what that means is they're not seeing the whole picture, right? So they're only seeing, they're seeing themselves in a vacuum. You guys know what a vacuum is, right? But when we say you see yourself in a vacuum, it means it's like you're separated from everyone else, right? But a brand can't do that. If a brand does that, that's their kiss of death. What that means is it will lead to their downfall. It will be very bad for them. Because of what we just described, this product has competitors, so people are going to the store and they see, 50 different detergents. They need to know, that brand needs to know how to differentiate themselves from those other detergents. They need to know who their target is, who's going to be buying their stuff, and they need to know how to target them. So if you don't know all these things about your customers, about the market, about the economy, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Do you know that saying? Shoot yourself in the foot. It's like an idiom. It means to screw yourself over, basically. You know what that means? Screw yourself over. So it means to hurt yourself. You're only hurting yourself if you don't do all the necessary research before you put out a product. And actually, that word before, parity performance, I'm guessing you guys, I didn't even know what that meant actually. So it's in the first line. Parity means when things are equal or the same. So they're saying here there's a problem with low-priced detergent. Budget brand is low-priced detergent. And the problem is parity performance, the fact that all of them are kind of the same. Right? Detergent isn't something like, it's not like food, which all has different tastes, or it's not even like, let's say sneakers, which they maybe all do the same thing, but they look different. So people want to buy this sneaker over this sneaker because it's more fancy, and they like how it looks. But detergent isn't really like that, right? Just like as a consumer, detergent is detergent. What's really different about it? The way it smells, right? Some of them smell nicer than others. but you don't really care about the packaging. You're not wearing it, you know, you're not eating it, you're not putting it into your apartment. So it's hard. If you're working for a detergent, you need to think like, I'm the same as all these other 50 detergents. Like, how am I going to differentiate myself from all of them? You know what I mean? People aren't buying detergent based on emotions. Not initially, right? People buy a lot of things based on emotions, right? They buy perfume or cologne because they smell something and they really like it, and maybe it reminds them of flowers or it reminds them of their mom or their boyfriend or something, right? So they would buy that. But detergent isn't like that. So the brand people, the marketing people that work for a detergent company need to think how to connect their brand emotionally, right? And that's one of the objectives of a good brand. They connect with their target emotionally. So if you can create an emotional connection with your target, you're already up here. The other people are here, they're all here, you're up here. How do you create an emotional connection with people over detergent? I don't know, you guys have probably seen commercials on TV where there's like a beautiful mom, and you know her kids are running around and she's taking the laundry out of the basket and it smells so good, and then she hugs her kids, and that creates an emotional connection, a commercial like that. Not for everyone, maybe not for you, maybe you're like, I don't really care, but maybe for you, maybe you have a little kid too, and maybe, you know, you see that and you're like, oh my God, you know, you don't even think about it. A lot of it isn't conscious, right? You're not thinking like, I want to be like that woman with that kid. But it's kind of like subconscious messaging, right? You see that and you're like, oh, like, maybe my sheets can smell like that and my child will be happy and will want to sleep in them too. You know what I mean? So this is how brands can, you know, create emotional connections with us by putting messages out there that we can connect to in some way. Okay, what other words?
All budget brand.
Which one?
All budget brand.
Old, 89-year-old budget brand. That's the same. This is two different words.
Yeah.
So this brand is 89 years old, and it's a budget brand. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Unilever.
Unilever. Unilever is a company, a really big company. Yep. That makes a lot of things: food, detergent.
Battery driven.
Battery driven. Yep. That's in the paragraph afterwards that starts with next. Realizing that 70% of all purchases are made in the store aisle, these people developed battery-driven video demonstration screens. It means it's run by battery. That simple. Something that's run by battery. So like a remote control is battery-driven. You probably wouldn't call it that, but here we're talking specifically about these screens, these video screens that when they say battery-driven, they're just trying to explain that there's technology behind it. It's not a poster, right? There's no battery in here, or you know, in this poster, there's no battery in here. It's just this. Something that's battery-driven has, you know, things are happening, right? What other words?
On track.
On track.
From last.
Okay.
Fourth sentence. The brand is
It's on track. On track means they're slated. They're supposed to. They're supposed to do $100 million in sales. And on track means they're going that way. They're, you know, doing well enough where they anticipate to make that much money. So they're on their way to making $100 million in sales.
And then, in this case, soaping what means?
Soaping the company for, yep, the brand is on track to do. You would never use this in real life. This is very specific for this article. It's just kind of, it means like